Hey good people, and welcome back to the channel. I'm almost feeling 100% back to my normal self, and I want to thank all those people who checked in on me. But in a few moments, I'll be sharing my thoughts and feelings on part 2 of the Decision Day episode from Married at First Sight Nashville. And over the course of this video, it'll be my plan to simply share my commentary on the important happenings of the episode. So without any further delay, let's jump right in. To all my good people out there, if you haven't seen this episode yet, then do yourself a favor. Treat this episode like a bill collector and avoid it. If I'm going to be completely honest, then let me tell you that I just sat through an episode where 75% of it was comprised of scenes that showed the cast members telling friends and family members the same stuff that we as a viewing audience have been hearing for the past few months. And while the story of their experience may be news to the friends and family, I consider this a huge waste of time, and I consider this episode in its entirety completely unnecessary. The only part of the episode, in my opinion, that's really worth watching was near the end, where all the cast members come together and they reveal which of them are still together and which got a divorce. There was so much tension, there were so many awkward moments, and the absence of folks being willing to keep it real had me thoroughly entertained as I watched the cast members explain where they stand with each other in a passive-aggressive manner. The biggest disappointment that I had for this episode was the much-anticipated storyline of Mac breaking the bro code with Clint. The previews for this episode made it seem like we would get some answers about the romance between Gina and Mac, but the show saved that scene for the last 5 minutes of the episode, and the episode ends before we find out if Gina and Mac have gotten past first base. But this episode kicks off with us getting the conclusion of Kirsten and Shaq's decision for Decision Day. Kirsten tells Shaq that she wants to stay married, but Shaq tells Kirsten that he wants a divorce, citing that he didn't feel like she was there for him and that he felt alone in the marriage. Now granted, I've really never been a fan of Kirsten. Aside from her looks and her bodacious backside, Kirsten's attitude and outlook on men was a huge turnoff for me. But over the course of this season, I'll admit that Kirsten has grown a little on me. And I'll also admit that I started to see Shaq for who he truly was, which was somewhat sensitive, overly needy, and unwilling to compromise with his wife. Now, what I truly found interesting was that when Shaq gave his answer for Decision Day, Kirsten, Dr. Pepper, and Pastor Cal all shook their head because what Shaq was saying didn't make much sense. His reasons for asking for a divorce let me know that he likely checked out of the experience at least a month before Decision Day, and it seemed like Kirsten may have been blindsided by the decision. Now, Nicole and Chris's scenes were boring as usual. It was nice to see them closing on their first apartment outside of the show, but yeah, they're really thriving in their marriage. And when it comes to Jasmine and Eris, I would like to know what really happened behind the scenes. We get a scene of Jasmine talking to her aunt about the experience on the show, and the aunt is asking some very valid questions about Eris and why things didn't work out. Yet Jasmine is giving some very surface level roundabout answers, which I wasn't a big fan of. I think by now, we as a viewing audience need Jasmine to be honest about why things didn't work, or she shouldn't talk about it at all. But this marks the end of my review. If you have any questions or comments related to the review or the episode, feel free to leave them below in the comment section, and I'll be sure to respond to everybody. Until next time, stay tuned and stay safe. Peace.